Welcome to Hot Drama TV.
Asterisk a 90-degree bow that spoke louder than words. The moment that redefined respect in the spotlight asterisk. In an industry built on applause, lights, and carefully measured smiles, it was not a trophy that stole the audience's breath that night. It was a bow. Not a polite nod. Not a symbolic gesture for the camera, but a full, deliberate 90-degree bow, deep, unguarded, and heavy with meaning. When senior actor Chang Sung-wen bent forward in front of Liu Yuning, the room seemed to pause. For a brief moment, the noise of celebration softened, and something far rarer took center stage. Respect without performance. An unexpected silence. Award ceremonies are predictable by design. Speeches are rehearsed. Gestures are restrained. Emotions are filtered through public image. But this moment was different. Chang Sung-wen did not bow because etiquette demanded it. He bowed because something inside him chose to speak through action rather than words. And in East Asian culture, a bow of that depth carries a message far heavier than applause. It says, I acknowledge you. I honor your effort. I see your journey. For Liu Yuning, standing on the receiving end, the moment was equally profound. He did not freeze. He did not turn it into spectacle. He accepted it, quietly, humbly, as if understanding that what was being offered was not praise but trust. More than a congratulation. To the casual viewer, it may have looked like a touching interaction between two celebrities. But to those who understand the culture, the gesture carried layers of meaning. In a world shaped by hierarchy and seniority, it is rare for a veteran to bow so deeply to someone younger. This was not about age. It was about recognition. Chang Sung-wen's bow signaled something powerful. That Liu Yuning's work had crossed a threshold. From popularity to respect, from visibility to substance. And that is a transition many stars never achieve. The weight of humility. What made the moment resonate even more deeply was Liu Yuning's response. He did not rush to speak. He did not dramatize the exchange. He met respect with humility. A quiet strength that cannot be rehearsed. In that silence, the audience saw something rare. A rising star who understood that success is not something to stand on, but something to stand within. Humility, after all, is not the absence of confidence. It is confidence without arrogance. Why this moment traveled so far? Within hours, clips of the bow spread across social media. Not because it was dramatic, but because it felt real. Fans replayed it not for the spectacle, but for the emotion beneath it. In an age where celebrity culture often feels manufactured, this moment cut through the noise. It reminded viewers that behind the lights are human relationships shaped by effort, endurance, and unspoken understanding. It wasn't scripted. It wasn't strategic. And that is precisely why it mattered. A mirror of the industry itself. This single bow reflected something larger happening in the entertainment world. Audiences are no longer satisfied with fame alone. They are drawn to character, to integrity, to moments that reveal who someone is when the spotlight is not demanding a performance. Chang Sung-wen embodied the grace of experience. A senior artist who honors the craft more than his own position. Liu Yuning embodied the promise of the next generation. Talented, visible, yet grounded. Together, they created a moment that felt almost symbolic. A passing of respect, not authority. A recognition of growth, not status. The power of unspoken language. Words are easy. Gestures are harder. And some gestures, when offered sincerely, can carry the weight of an entire career. That bow told a story of years spent honing skill, enduring doubt, and slowly earning a place not just on screen, but in the hearts of peers. It reminded us that true success is not measured only by awards, but by the respect earned from those who understand the cost of the journey. Why we remember this? Long after the trophies are polished and the speeches forgotten, this moment will remain. Because it was never about winning. It was about acknowledging. A bow that said more than applause ever could. A silence that spoke louder than praise. In that quiet exchange, the industry and the audience were reminded of something essential. Fame fades. Trends change. But respect once earned leaves a lasting echo. And sometimes the most unforgettable moments happen when no one is trying to impress anyone at all. What the bow did not say, but everyone felt. No one on that stage explained the bow. There was no microphone. No caption. No official statement to decode it, and yet everyone understood. Because some moments bypass language entirely. In that brief bend of the body, years of struggle were acknowledged without being listed. Countless rehearsals, quiet disappointments, late nights, and self-doubt, all folded into a single gesture. This was not admiration for success alone. It was respect for endurance. The invisible journey behind the spotlight. For Liu Yuning, the road to recognition was never linear. His rise was public, but his persistence was private. Behind every performance was the pressure of proving that popularity could mature into credibility, that attention could evolve into trust. And when Chang Sung-wen bowed, it felt as if someone who truly understood the weight of the profession was saying, "You've earned your place here." Not because the audience cheered, but because the craft had been honored. A lesson the audience didn't expect. Viewers did not tune in to learn a lesson that night. They came for glamour. They stayed for something quieter. In a culture increasingly driven by speed, viral moments, instant reactions, overnight fame, this exchange offered a different narrative. That growth takes time. That recognition does not always arrive loudly. And that respect, when genuine, is never rushed. The bow reminded audiences that the most meaningful validation often comes from peers, not platforms. When generations meet without competing. What made this moment extraordinary was not hierarchy, but harmony. There was no tension between senior and junior. No struggle for relevance. No subtle assertion of power. Instead, there was acknowledgement across generations. Chang Sung-wen did not protect his legacy by standing above. He strengthened it by bowing. And Liu Yuning did not diminish himself by receiving it. He honored it by responding with humility. In that exchange, the industry briefly revealed what it could be at its best. Why this moment will outlive the headlines. News cycles move quickly. Awards are replaced by new ceremonies. Faces rotate in and out of relevance. But moments rooted in sincerity age differently. This bow will be remembered not because it was dramatic, but because it was unnecessary, and therefore authentic. No contract demanded it. No camera required it. It happened because it felt right. And authenticity, once witnessed, cannot be unseen. The quiet standard it set. Without declaring it, this moment set a new standard. For how seniors can uplift without condescension. For how rising stars can accept praise without entitlement. For how success can be acknowledged without noise. It challenged the idea that respect must always flow in one direction. And it reminded everyone watching that dignity is not something you claim. It is something others offer. The echo that remains. Long after the stage lights dimmed, this moment continued to echo. Not in headlines. Not in numbers. But in feeling. A bow that carried more weight than words. A silence that spoke of shared understanding. A reminder that the most powerful statements are often made when no one is trying to make one. In an industry defined by visibility, this moment was unforgettable precisely because it was human. And perhaps that is why, when people think back on that night, they don't remember who won. They remember who bowed.